All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here at Nick Strength and Power. So in this video, I want to talk about how strong was Arnold Schwarzenegger really. So we know in bodybuilding that Arnold won 7 Mr. Olympia competitions. He was one of the best bodybuilders, arguably, of all time. But he also had quite an extensive lifting career in terms of Olympic weightlifting and powerlifting. And we're also going to get to his gym lifts, which were unofficial. So we're going to get to those at the end of the video. But we're going to talk about how strong Arnold was in terms of Olympic lifting and powerlifting. So from 1963 to 1965, Arnold competed in Olympic weightlifting. His best overhead press was 264 pounds, which is the equivalent of 119 kilograms. His best snatch was 243 pounds, which is the equivalent of about 110 kilograms. And his best clean and jerk was 298 pounds, which is the equivalent of about 135 kilograms. So in 1965, he quit competing officially in Olympic weightlifting. So he's basically a teenager during his Olympic weightlifting career. So all of those lifts that you just heard were completed by Arnold as a teen. So in 1966, Arnold started to officially compete in powerlifting meets. So from 66 to 68, those are really the only years that we have recorded powerlifting lifts from Arnold in official meets. So his best squat in an official meet from that window of time was a 473.9 pound squat, which is the equivalent of 215 kilograms, a 440.9 pound bench press, which is the equivalent of a 200 kilogram bench press, and a 683.4 pound deadlift, which is the equivalent of 310 kilograms. So in 1968, he was age 21. So when he stopped competing in powerlifting, he was only 21. And those 3 lifts that I told you earlier, they total 725 kilograms, which is a 1,598.35 pound total. So he's also known for his unofficial gym lifts and training really crazy heavy in the gym. So according to Arnold's blueprint program on bodybuilding.com, he has a workout program that you can go download. He talks about all of his best lifts in the gym. So according to Arnold, in that blueprint, the best lifts that he claims to have had were a 545 pound squat, which is the equivalent of 247 kilograms, a 500 pound bench press, which is the equivalent of about 226 kilograms, and a 710 pound deadlift being his best deadlift of all time, which is a 322 kilogram deadlift at his peak. So I believe he said in the blueprint these were right before his universe win, his first Mr. Universe win. So he's also known for heavy cheat curls in the gym. So in addition to the powerlifting lifts and the Olympic lifts, he was known to cheat curl between 250 and 275 pounds for reps, which is quite an impressive feat considering the fact that he's so tall and has such long arms. So that means the bar has a longer distance to travel during the curl motion. So another reason that Arnold was so freaky strong was because he trained with some of the strongest training partners that he could find. For example, Franco Columbu. Obviously, a lot of people know that Arnold and Franco trained together, and they're still friends to this day. But a fact that a lot of people may not know was that Franco was actually a lot stronger than Arnold. So Franco's best squat was a 665 pound squat, which is the equivalent of about 301 kilograms. His best bench press was a 525 pound bench press, which is the equivalent of 238 kilograms. And his best deadlift was 750 pounds, which is the equivalent of 340 kilograms. So it's important to note that Franco was obviously doing these lifts at under 200 pounds body weight, while Arnold was completing these lifts, somewhere around 230, 240. And it's also important to note that Franco also competed in the World's Strongest Man competition. So not only was Arnold really strong, but he trained with the strongest. So that is how strong Arnold Schwarzenegger was. I think the most impressive lift that I mentioned here was that 710 pound deadlift. So Arnold not only had the body of pretty much a Greek god, a 7-time Mr. Olympia champion, Mr. Universe, he was also, one of the strongest guys of that time period, arguably. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you learned something. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.